Howdy Earthlings! It's Friday night, I don't have to work in the morning, so it's time for a star party. I'm Deanna Rose, your resident night sky fangirl, and it is March 14th, 2025. We have clear but hazy skies tonight, so we're going to do a little bit of observing. As you can see on the screen, I have Messier 81 going right now, trying to capture Bode's galaxy right now, getting all geared up for Messier Marathon this year. So I've talked about it before, and I even did a video on the Messier objects. It's 110 objects that were cataloged by Charles Messier in the 18th century. And sometimes the Earth is tilted just right, and the length of the night is just the right amount, and depending where you're at, you could potentially see all 110 objects in a single night. Now, where I'm at, I probably won't be able to catch all 110 because they're very close to sunrise and sunset. But I'm going to give it the old college try. So, what is the Messier Marathon? Like I said, Charles Messier originally compiled the catalog in the 18th century to help comet hunters avoid confusing fixed deep sky objects like galaxies, nebulae, and clusters for comets. And the catalog has become a rite of passage in observational astronomy. Last year, I actually did a bingo card, which I only probably got a third of the way filled. But I decided I'm going to give it another shot this year and try to get all 110 this year, whether it's all in one night or if it's... The marathon requires you to view as many of these 110 objects as possible in one night. Many are only visible during narrow windows of time, so planning is essential. Now, I have a little bit of planning kind of done. I have an idea. I have a concept of a plan. Sorry, that was just a really bad joke. Basically what I'm doing, and let me show you this. So as you can see here, I've got my Starry Night software, and I have my list of the Messier objects here to the right side of the screen. And I've started creating a spreadsheet, and I'm looking for the rise, transit, and set times for all 110 Messier objects. Not just for the 29th and 30th, which is the primary date for the Messier Marathon, but also for next weekend, which is the secondary date, which seems a little weird because it comes before the primary date. The reason for that is it's still possible next weekend to see all 110 objects, but on the 29th and 30th, we've actually got a new moon. So the skies will be a lot better to view the Messier objects that night as opposed to next weekend. So what I'm doing is, like I said, I'm cataloging the start or the rise, the transit, and set times for all of the Messier objects. And I've started working on figuring out the best times to view things. Once again, I used Cosmo, my co-pilot AI companion, to help me try to find some information on the best way to actually do this. And there are some logical groupings for looking at the Messier objects. So, for example, by constellation. Okay, so in the Taurus Auriga group, you've got the Crab Nebula, you've got Messier 36, 37, and 38. If you use a wide field eyepiece, you could actually see all of those objects in your field of view. I might actually be able to get all 4 of those objects in one shot if I were to use mosaic mode on the Sea Star. There's also the Orion group, which is the Orion Nebula and Messier 43, as well as Messier 78, which is a reflection nebula slightly off to the north of Orion. There's also the Scorpius Sagittarius group, which has Messier 6, 7, 8, 20, and 22. You can group these in a lot of different ways. I have my notes here. Haha, looking through here. Now, they do tend to, a lot of astronomers tend to break these down into logical groups. For example, they'll break them down into, say, the Western groups, which are visible right around and after sunset. Where are my notes at? There's also the Eastern group, which is pre-dawn, targets that are still on the rise or just clearing the horizon before dawn. And then there's the Meridian group, which is objects that culminate around midnight. Making their marathon is going to make trying to hit them a lot easier. Also, it doesn't hurt that I have my C-Star S30 now, so I have my S50 and my S30 going. I plan to use the S50 to do some of those mosaic shots to try to get large groups, while I'm going to use the S30 to try to get individual shots of the different objects. Now, I'm going to go back to my main screen here. And like I said, this is Bode's Galaxy. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick denoise on this and save the image. And then I want to go ahead and give you an idea of what we're looking at with the catalog. So this will just take about 15 seconds. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sharpen that up a smidge. Change the saturation a little bit. And looks like we got a nice little smudge there, but there we go. We're going to go back. I'm going to stop that from imaging. As you can see from the rotation on the screen there, we do have very hazy skies tonight, which is reflecting some light off of the city. So that's why the camera was rotating as it took the picture. Let me see if I can't pull that up. My album. There we go. As you can see on the edge of the image, to the left, there is a little bit of kind of pixelation, and unfortunately you can't see much at the top, but if you look at the top right of the screen, you can kind of see where it's a little bit darker. We are getting a lot of city glow off of the haze in the sky, bouncing off the particles. So yeah, good times. I feel a sneeze coming on. Excuse me. I also shot this one earlier this evening. The, of course, the Seven Sisters, but not all of them in one shot because I was being a little bit quick tonight. A partial solar eclipse on March 29th. Most of the stuff here that you see at the bottom, these recommendeds, those are actually for the Chinese time zone where the telescope is actually built. I've learned not to take that into account. But we're going to go back over to the Sky Atlas and Objects. So let's look at the Messier catalog real quick. And you'll kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. Like, for example, the Crab Nebula is up right now. This is another tool that I can use to help me determine when I can see everything. I can just kind of pull up the graphs for everything. Another thing that I have to think about is where I'm at here in Liberty Hill, or outside of Liberty Hill actually, is that I'm surrounded by cedar trees and a couple of oak trees. The oak trees are my mama's favorite, but surrounded by cedar trees. So I do have to wait until everything is probably about 30 degrees above the horizon in order to clear the tree line. I'd actually considered going out to a dark sky location, but I don't want to travel anywhere. I just, with the price of gas and the economy the way it is, I just don't want to spend the money on gas. And besides, I've got Bortle 4.5 skies where I'm at now. When we don't have the city glow from Austin, it's just creeping out here. It's actually not bad. So we do have all of our Messier objects listed here in the C-Star app. If you haven't had a chance to use the C-Star yet, I highly recommend it. So we're going to try to shoot, for example, Andromeda Galaxy, M32 and M10. They're right there in that tight. I look like I have frozen. Give me one moment. There we go. All right. I do apologize for the glitch there. It looked like my Streamlabs froze for a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Messier 31. I'm going to center it. But we've also got Messier 32 and 110 all close together. I'm going to scroll in so y'all can see that. As you can see, they are all super close together. If I do it in mosaic mode, I can get the full Andromeda Galaxy, as well as those two in one shot, as well as Messier 33, which is the Triangulum Galaxy. Where did it go? It's often seen nearby. There it is. Now, I'm not going to get the Triangulum Galaxy in the same location as the Andromeda Galaxy, but it'll be close by, so I know that I'll be able to catch them around the same time. Maybe use the S30 to get a singular shot of that while mosaic mode is hitting that one. So when you're going to do something like Messier Marathon, where you're going to try to get all 110 objects in one night, then yeah, you definitely want to plan ahead. And you can go to the website and you can download the bingo card if you want. It's in the blog. I have not touched the website all year because I have had a lot going on with work and interviewing different scientists for my Beyond Stargazing series. Hope y'all have had a chance to check that out. The last video dropped on the 28th of February, where I got to talk to Dr. Rachel Harris about astrobiology. That was super cool. And then earlier this month, I got to interview Dr. Krupp for archaeoastronomy. What I would really love to do for archaeoastronomy is I want to talk to Milo from Mini Minuteman. I mean, granted, he's just an archaeologist, not an astroarchaeologist, but if I were able to talk to him and kind of bounce ideas off of his head, I mean, the kid's super smart. And yes, I say kid because he's in his 20s, and I have, as of this coming Monday, St. Patrick's Day, all of my kids will be in their 20s, which makes me feel really old. But I would love to pick his brain on ancient civilizations and how they observed the skies and how they applied that to their daily lives from their point of view, not a present day point of view. I think that would be really cool because, like I said, kid is super smart. I also had... No, what are you doing? My screen is not wanting to do... No, that's not what I wanted. Let's go back to the base scene. So since we are doing Messier Marathon, let's see what is available in the early evening skies, shall we? So we do have Messier 1, not 2. Messier 3 is just rising. That'll be up a little in a while. What else do we have? A lot of these won't be visible until probably closer to sunrise. The Andromeda Galaxy is setting right now, so that's going to be something that's probably going to be one of the first ones that I hit that night. So I can set up the mosaic mode. I might actually do that one on the S30 since the S30, with it having the 30 millimeter aperture, appears to have a wider field of view natively. So that'll probably be super helpful. Spiral cluster. We've got the shoe buckle cluster. We've got the pinwheel cluster. We've got the salt and pepper cluster. The starfish cluster. M40, which is Winnicky 4, which is just stars. Marion's Nebula. The Pleiades. M46, M47, M48, M49 is that rising or setting? That's rising. The heart-shaped cluster. Is that actually heart-shaped? I wonder. Nope. Let's see what else we can find tonight. Let's grab a quick image. Black Eye Galaxy. That one is rising. Granted, that is going to be below the tree line, but just for grins and giggles, let's see what else we've got going on. We've got the Leo triplet. Yeah, we can get M65 and M66 in the same shot. Let's see what it can do. And I will go back to my notes. I've got so many notes here, it's not even funny. I've got a pre-observation setup. Let me go back and show you this guy that I printed up. So that is a good grouping idea of where I can go. I just need to fit my other stuff around it. So like I said, Taurus and Auriga. We have M1 and then 36 through 38. We've got the Orion, early to midnight. Scorpius, Sagittarius, the Northern Galaxies in Ursa Major, and dude, I can't even pronounce that right now. I made the mistake of leaving my reading glasses at the office. Andromeda, Triangulum. It says pre-dawn. Just for grins and giggles, I'm going to pull Starry Night back up. And this is how I'm actually getting the information on when it's rising and setting. So, yeah, that was a very wonky time. Oh, because I had it set to UTC time. Bummer. I get to redo my chart. So as you can see, it's rising probably about an hour before sunrise. That's why, yeah. Because now that it's daylight savings time, it's rising about an hour before sunrise. Might be good to try to hit it in the morning instead of in the evening. Now, because it sets it. Well, let's change the date on here and almost knocked over my freaking soda on my desk. That would have sucked. All right, so the times on... Plenty of time to get it in the morning. Yeah. That's probably going to be one of the last ones that I get then. So I can do that in mosaic mode with the S50. Yeah, with the S50. No, I'll do it with the I'll do my mosaic modes in S30 since it has the wider field of view, and I won't have to expand it as much, so it won't have to take as many shots in order to capture all of it. So, yeah, Messier 31, 32, and 110 on the S30 right before sunrise on Oh, that's the 29th. 30th. Derp a derp a derp. Because the 29th is the evening we start. Yeah, okay. So I'll start at 5:22 in the morning. Now, on the actual night, the 29th and 30th of the Messier Marathon, the primary night of the Messier Marathon, I'm actually going to live stream the entire night. So instead of doing my Friday night star party that weekend, I'll be doing it Saturday night. Next weekend, I am going to be doing a practice run, although I may end up doing that just for my friends on Discord, because it's been a while since I've done something like that. But yeah, back to my schedule. Since that is pre-dawn, I can shoot that one in the morning. So I can probably start with these groups and then fill in around it. And using that information from Starry Night, I'll be able to get the rise and set times for everything for that day and be completely prepared, hopefully, in time for that to start. Now, what my goal is to get pictures of everything, check off the bingo card, and once I get all of these pictures, so there's a YouTube channel I watch called Nerd Forge with I forget the name, Hansi, and I can't remember her name, but she is so freaking cool. But yeah, I watch Nerd Forge, and she does a lot of bookbinding. She does this really great video. You really need to go watch it, where she makes these huge copies of books and takes them to the author. And I want to be able to print up my books print up my pictures with descriptions and make a homemade leather-bound book with all of the pictures. So that is one of my goals for the end of the year. Okay. I am going to go back to, you know what? It decided not to go where I wanted it to go. So, if the moon is up. Oh, it did, but it's hazy. You know what? It's probably hazy because of the full moon tonight. Let's take a quick look at it and see. Now, I didn't stay up for the lunar eclipse last night because I had to work today and I needed to attempt to sleep. But the Austin Community College Astronomy Club went out last night. I actually let them borrow my my S50, and they left me some cool pictures. I will have to dig them up. They're actually on the Sea Stars hard drive, but I am really glad that I was able to help them out with that so they could see the eclipse. I'm actually, while that is centering, I'm going to try to find there we are. All right. So while that is still finding the moon, I'm going to flip back over to this and show you the pictures that the Austin Community College Astronomy Club was able to capture. It failed to find the moon. What a dork. Let me try it again. So, here are some of the pictures that they took of the lunar eclipse. Go back to this. There we go. There is part of the lunar eclipse. That was from about... Yeah, I can't read that timestamp. That stinks. Oh, they took a little video. Look at that. Night here in Austin. So they, unfortunately, at the time of the actual eclipse, it actually was super cloudy for them, so they didn't get a chance to see it. And I think I froze again. There we go. I do apologize for the glitch. I have not rebooted my computer in a while, and it's waiting to do updates. So as soon as we take a look at the moon, I'm actually going to sign off because it's an early morning. I might not have to work, but I still have a lot of stuff to get done. All right, we are finding the moon. As y'all probably saw on the posts page on the YouTube channel, we had windstorms here in Central Texas last week, and it was a little bit insane. We had sustained winds of 12 to 20 miles an hour, and I have a weather station in the front yard. If you've seen my weather feed on the Twitch channel, basically, we had gusts that went up to 50 miles an hour, and the maximum speed gust that we had was 76.6 miles per hour. Excuse me. So it was really bad, and my equipment was for my seeds for my garden. It was destroyed, and I lost about 75% of my seedlings. I had to replant pretty much all of my pepper plants and most of my tomato plants. Lost all my other veggies, had to restart the cucumbers. Fortunately, the greenhouse made it. All my plants inside are fine. Getting to eat fresh salad on a daily basis now, so that makes me happy. Now, for some reason, it is not wanting to find the moon tonight. It is just being a big, hairy pain in the butt. We will give it one more go. And if it doesn't find it, then I'm going to have to find out why, which it might actually be cloudy because the clouds were starting to roll in shortly before I started. Finding the moon. It almost found it earlier. All right, I think there is a major lapse in time. There we go. It's not wanting to find the moon tonight. I do apologize. But I am going to go ahead and sign off for the night. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. And if the skies are clear, I'll see you next week. Make sure you have your plan for Messier Marathon. Print out your bingo card from the website, texasdarkskies.com. And you can follow along with me on the live stream on March 29th. Talk to y'all later. Have a good evening.